Hi, Jane. Ever seen me before?
How are we looking outside? Squashy, and we won't be here for long. I promise. Ralph won't, but I promise. Some people might have to be on the deck. Everybody in there, I think. Not too many outside. All right. Let me introduce myself. My name's Peter Tinworth. Some people call me Tinny. I'm the current president of the New South Wales Manly Junior Sailing Association. I think I got that round the right. No, I got that completely wrong. The Manly Junior Sailing Association of New South Wales. Today is all about not me, but Mr. Tobias, Ralph Tobias, standing beside me, who designed the Manly Junior 50 years ago this year for our kids. This is not about me tonight, so I won't be long, but I need to thank a few people for their input and help with organising this evening. In particular, Tom Nugent, who is the association secretary and has been, he's 9.5 years now, Tom? You've been doing it? 9, yeah. Nearly 10 years. Janelle Aldred from Port Hacking Sailing Club, who has done a video that's showing on the wall at the moment, which you can't see, which is fine. It will play all night. And I believe from Janelle, we put MJ 2,780 in the water this week, and there is a photo in this DVD of every single one of them bar 50. She has done an enormous amount of work tracking people down and getting photos. So if you stand around long enough, I'd like to thank the Manly 16-foot skiff sailing club and Manly Yacht Club for their input and support and help with putting this thing together today, and all of you for coming. I did a couple of newspaper articles in the last 6 months trying to promote the event, and I find it absolutely amazing that somebody can design something in this country that is still built here and is still being built 50 years down the track. And I was comparing it to the Victor Lawnmower, Vegemite and the Hills Hoist, none of which are owned by Australians anymore. So, it's an association and a club. We thought it might be nice to have a bit of a badge that you could wear on your keyring or whatever, nothing too fancy, like the old clubs used to do. So we made, you can't see that, can you? Can see it? The Manly Junior 50th badge, like that, and that is stamped number 1, which I'd like to give to Ralph. Thank you. Numbers 2 to 10 are in my pocket, and I'm led to believe we're going to try and auction them off later to pay for the night. So I'll take any bid you want to offer. So without saying any more, I'd like to hand over to Ralph. It's his day, it's his boat. We should all be very grateful for what he did, because what it does for these guys sitting on the floor down here. I think the sailing today was a perfect example. We had 50 boats on the start line at the 50th anniversary. What else could you ask for? So, without any further ado, I'll give you Mr. Ralph Tobias.
Well, thank you, Peter. Firstly, I'd like to give my thanks to Peter and everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Everyone that worked to make today the great success it's been fantastic. And whoever organised the weather, I'll thank her as well. I'd just like to give a couple of apologies. People that would like to have come down here. One is Stan Wilbridge, who was the very first association measurer, and he helped build a number of boats. He built Transition number 1400, where we changed the design. And Stan isn't well, so he couldn't make it. And the other person is Laurie Mitchell, who was the sail maker that made the very first sails. And in fact, he then continued to make the first 366 sets of sails. So he couldn't make it either. But one or two that could make it though is Mr. Hal Barnes here, who was our very first association treasurer. So there he is right there in front of us here. Now, it's a bit hard to think that it's 50 years since it all started, because when I look at all the new kids here, I started off with a bunch of kids a bit like you. They're actually a bit older than you. The first bunch of kids were 12 years old. And
we're over here, Ralph.
I was about to say, they're no more nice, sweet little boys anymore. There they are. So, there's Graham Wallaker and there's John Stanfield and John Weckett somewhere around here. And Ian Perdrier hiding behind us there.
And the girls.
And the girls. How could I forget the girls? Who have I missed?
Marilyn's here, of course. She was the first secretary of the first committee, the junior committee.
Right, so a lot of water's flown under the bridge since then. And what is interesting is that, you know, these people that were like you 50 years ago are now grandparents. So we've had 3 generations of kids sailing the Manly Junior. I was asked to keep this fairly brief, so I'll try to. People often ask me, how come the Manly Junior's got this cut-off bow? And it's very simple. When back in 1959 I was a member of what was called the Manly 40-foot Sailing Club, which was the last little shed down the end here. And we decided we were losing our members and we wanted to bring in some kids, so we needed a kids' boat. And I offered to design one. So the first problem was, how were we going to store them, because we didn't have much room. So I went down the end of the shed with the tape and I measured the distance from the floor to the ceiling, and I said, right, I've got to fit a boat in there. So I started drawing the boat up, and to get the biggest boat I could, I cut the nose off it, because what's in the water really matters, not what's out of the water. So that's how we ended up with a snub-nosed boat that was in the old measurements 8 foot 7.5 long. So that's the original story. I was also asked how many boats did I think would be built. Did I ever imagine this? And of course the answer was no, because I thought, gee, if we get 10 or 12 built, that'll be great. And of course 10 or 12 got built, and more got built, and other clubs came along, and we ended up forming an association to manage the class. And in preparing for this evening or today, I was asked to dig up some old papers, which you'll see on the benches behind you over there. And in the papers, there were the minutes of meetings of the association. I looked at all these names of members of all these clubs that are on the association. And I started to feel really humble, because I thought of all the people over the last 50 years that have actually worked to support the Manly Junior. So you've got the parents who brought their kids' boats and brought them down to the beach every Saturday. You've got the club officials, you've got the starters, the judges, the association people who manage the whole lot. And if you think that's been going on for 50 years, it just gives you some idea of how many people have actually worked for this boat. There have been many estimates as to how many kids have actually sailed in the Manly Junior. I've sort of heard figures up to 15,000. So if you add it all up, that's a lot of people involved. So coming here today and seeing you all out there in the water, your kids signing my champs, and just reflecting on where we've come from, I really felt terrific. So all I can say to you all is thank you very much for having this day, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for being part of the Manly Junior. Thank you. Bye.
Just a few more minutes. I'm married to Nicky Saylor, the designer, in his second life. And earlier this year, in hearing over the last 25 years about the Manly Junior, when it began this year, knowing it was the 50th year, I wrote a letter to then President, not knowing exactly his name, and I got a response from this fellow called Peter Tinworth. And since then, he has been such an outstanding performer. I know he's organised and recognised other people that have come together to organise tonight, but nevertheless I have been absolutely impressed with his can-do attitude and the amazing organisation, including media, everything. So I've told him that he should go out as a professional events organiser. And I just wanted to say, this is a little bottle of Mowat that you can actually pat yourself on the back with later on this evening. It's not quite cold yet, but it's with love from Ralph and me.
Thank you very much, Barbara. As Barbara and I were talking earlier, and it's this, for what it's worth, I was going to save this till February. This will be my last year as president. It's my third now. And I've always been a firm believer in, oh, you missed the kids, Ralph, that's fine. I've done that too. You get out of anything that which you're prepared to put into it. And with both my sons having come through Manly Juniors and one's still involved in it, I figure, well, if they're having fun, I'll have some fun too. And doing this is actually, yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun too. So it's an absolute pleasure. It's an honour to be the president of the association. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I believe the dinner is probably ready to go. So if anybody wants to go and eat, please do. What will happen is take your tickets up to the table and they'll tear the stub off and you'll get a meal. So there you go. Thank you.